Isolation. It's a word that scares most people. When you're alone, the noise of the world fades away, and suddenly you're left with your own thoughts, your own fears, and your own truth. That silence can feel uncomfortable. That emptiness can feel unbearable. But here's the truth. Isolation is not your enemy. It's your training ground. The greatest winners in life are not built in the spotlight. They are forged in moments when nobody is clapping, when nobody is cheering, and when nobody is watching. Think about it. Champions, leaders, creators, they all have one thing in common. They embrace the power of being alone. They turn the silence of isolation into fuel, into focus, into an environment where they could build themselves away from distractions. When you are surrounded by people, your energy is divided. Their opinions, their expectations, their voices, they all cloud your vision. But in isolation, the only voice you hear is your own. And if you listen carefully, that voice will guide you toward your purpose. Isolation is where you discover who you really are. It strips away the masks you wear for the world and forces you to face your raw self. The weak parts, the strong parts, the broken parts. That's where transformation begins. Look at history. Every great innovator, every game changer had seasons of isolation. Writers lock themselves in rooms for months. Athletes train away from the cameras. Entrepreneurs work long nights when nobody knows their name. They sacrifice social gatherings, parties, and distractions because they know isolation isn't loneliness. It's investment. While others waste time seeking approval, winners use their solitude to sharpen their minds, build their discipline, and strengthen their vision. But let's be real, isolation is not easy. When you're sitting alone at midnight, grinding while the world sleeps, doubt creeps in. Am I wasting my time? Will this ever pay off? What if I fail? These questions echo louder in the dark, and that's the exact moment where most people quit. But winners, they push through it. They use that doubt as resistance training for the mind. They tell themselves, if I can survive this silence, if I can fight through this darkness, nothing can break me when the spotlight comes. Isolation is also where you learn patience. Because growth doesn't happen overnight. Muscles don't build in a single workout. Skills don't sharpen in a single attempt. Dreams don't manifest in a single day. It takes repetition, sacrifice, and long hours of unseen work. The world may never applaud those hours, but those very hours create the strength, the confidence, and the foundation that will one day shock everyone. So the next time you feel alone, don't run from it. Embrace it. When nobody texts you, when nobody calls, when nobody asks how your dream is going, remember, you are not forgotten. You are in training. You are in preparation. This is your cocoon stage where the world doesn't see you, but you are transforming into something unstoppable. Isolation is not punishment. It is privilege. It is the dark room where winners are made. So don't complain about the silence. Don't beg for attention. Don't fear being misunderstood. Use your isolation to master yourself. Because when the time comes to step into the light, the world won't recognize you. They will wonder, where did this strength come from? How did this person rise so high? And you'll know the answer. It came from the hours no one saw. It came from the sacrifices nobody noticed. It came from the nights you chose focus over comfort. It came from the power of isolation. Discipline is not about showing off when people are around. It's not about doing the work when the cameras are rolling, when your friends are watching, or when the world is paying attention. Real discipline is proven when no one is there. It's the unseen choices, the hidden sacrifices, and the silent commitments that separate winners from everyone else. Anyone can act motivated in front of an audience. Anyone can post a highlight on social media to make themselves look consistent. But winners build discipline in the dark. They don't need applause, likes, or validation to keep going. They don't stop just because nobody noticed their effort today. They understand that discipline is a contract with themselves, not a performance for the world. Think about this. What do you do when the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and nobody is watching? Do you hit snooze or do you get up? What do you do when your goals feel far away and nobody is there to push you? Do you quit or do you keep going? The truth is, your answer to these silent moments determines your future. Because winners are not made in big decisions, they are made in the small daily decisions that nobody else sees. Discipline is uncomfortable. It demands consistency when you don't feel like it. It demands sacrifice when you want comfort. It demands work when your body screams for rest. But here's the thing, that discomfort is where growth lives. Champions know that every rep in the gym, every extra page read, every hour of practice in silence, is building a foundation of strength that no one can take away. When no one is watching, the easy choice is to cut corners. To tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. To convince yourself nobody will know if I skip today. But deep down, you know. And the truth is, discipline is not about who's watching you. It's about who you become when nobody is around. If you can stay disciplined in private, you'll shine effortlessly in public. Discipline is like building muscle. Each choice is a rep. Each day you stay consistent. You're training your mind to be stronger. You're wiring yourself to resist temptation, to focus on the bigger picture, to honor your future self over your present comfort. And here's the beautiful part. Once discipline becomes a part of you, it doesn't feel like punishment anymore. It feels like freedom. Because while others are chained to their moods and excuses, you are guided by your habits and values. Look at the legends, athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders. Their greatness wasn't built under bright lights. It was built in the shadows of consistency. Kobe Bryant used to show up in the gym hours before anyone else arrived. Steve Jobs worked tirelessly on details nobody noticed. Writers, musicians, inventors, all of them repeated the same thing. Discipline when no one was watching. Ask yourself, who are you in the dark? Are you the person who quits because nobody's clapping? Or are you the person who keeps going because you know where you're headed? That's the real test. Your future is not determined by what you do once in public, but by what you repeat in private, over and over again. So the next time you think about skipping a day, remember this. You're not just skipping a task, you're training yourself to be weak. And every time you show up, even when nobody knows, you're training yourself to be unstoppable. That's the difference. That's why winners succeed while others fade away. Discipline when no one is watching. That's where the magic happens. That's where the future is built. And that's why when the lights finally shine on you, you'll look unshakable. Because the truth is, pain. It's the one thing we all try to avoid, yet it's the very thing that shapes us the most. Nobody wants pain, whether it's heartbreak, rejection, failure, or loss. But here's the truth that most people run from. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the fuel. Pain is the teacher. Pain is the fire that forges the strongest steel. Think about the times in your life when you grew the most. Was it during comfort? Or was it during struggle? Growth never happens in comfort. Comfort keeps you soft, lazy, and complacent. Pain, on the other hand, wakes you up. It forces you to confront your weaknesses, to push beyond your limits, and to rebuild yourself stronger than before. Pain strips you down so you can rise up. The greatest winners in the world are not the ones who avoided pain. They are the ones who embraced it, transformed it, and used it as power. When life pushed them to the ground, they didn't stay down. They asked themselves, how can I use this? How can I turn this hurt into hunger? That mindset is what separates victims from victors. Pain is energy. It can either break you or build you, depending on how you choose to respond. Most people let pain destroy them. They complain, they give up, they let bitterness consume their spirit. But winners? Winners take that same pain and flip it. They say, this pain will not be wasted. I will use it to sharpen my discipline, fuel my determination, and remind me why I cannot quit. Look at athletes who play through injuries, who use every ounce of pain as motivation to push harder. Look at people who grew up with nothing, yet turned their suffering into the drive to build everything. Look at innovators who failed again and again, each failure teaching them something new, each rejection pushing them closer to their breakthrough. They didn't run from pain, they turned pain into power. And here's the secret: pain creates empathy, wisdom, and resilience. You cannot truly understand strength without first experiencing weakness. You cannot truly appreciate joy without first walking through sorrow. Pain teaches you lessons that no book, no mentor, no speech can teach. It forces you to dig deep, to find strength inside yourself you never even knew existed. But here's the problem. Most people numb their pain instead of facing it. They distract themselves with entertainment, with noise, with excuses. They drown their pain in comfort. But winners? They sit with it. They feel it. They let it hurt, and then they rise anyway. Because they know The very thing that hurts today will become the reason they shine tomorrow. So, the next time you feel pain, don't run. Don't say, "Why me?" Instead say, "Try me." Let that pain remind you that you're alive, that you're fighting, that you're still in the game. Let that pain harden your will, sharpen your focus, and deepen your hunger. Pain is not the end of the road. It's the beginning of your transformation. And one day when people look at you and admire your strength, they won't see the nights you cried, the failures that cut deep, or the heartbreak that broke you. They'll only see the power you built from that pain. They'll only see the champion that pain created. Winners are not made in comfort. They are made in pain. And the ones who learn to turn pain into power are the ones who cannot be stopped. The darkest times in life are the hardest to survive. They are the nights when nothing makes sense, when the world feels heavy and when hope seems far away. In those moments, you feel like giving up. You question everything, your path, your purpose, even yourself. But let me tell you this. Faith in the dark is what separates winners from everyone else. When life is easy, it's simple to believe. When things are going well, when success is flowing, when doors are opening, faith doesn't cost much. But when everything collapses, when rejection hits, when you fail again, when you feel invisible, this is the real test. Because it's in the dark that faith matters most. Faith is not about seeing the finish line. It's about running when the finish line is nowhere in sight. It's about believing in yourself when no one else does. It's about trusting that the struggle you're in today is shaping the strength you'll need tomorrow. Faith is not blind optimism. It's not pretending the pain doesn't exist. It's saying, "I know this hurts. I know I'm struggling. But I also know this is not the end." Think about every great success story you've ever heard. None of them were born in comfort. They all went through seasons of darkness. Times when nobody believed in them. Times when the money ran out. Times when they were laughed at, criticized, and told to quit. But instead of giving up, they held on to faith. They believed that even if no one else saw it, their vision mattered. They trusted that their struggle was leading them somewhere greater. Faith in the dark is about holding your ground when the storm rages. It's about walking through nights when you can't see the stars but trusting the sun will rise again. It's about reminding yourself that every seed grows in the dirt, in the darkness before it ever breaks through into the light. You are no different. Your darkest moments are not proof of your weakness. They are proof that something is being formed inside you, something that the world is not ready to see yet. And here's the thing. Faith is not just about waiting. It's about working while you wait. It's about showing up, putting in the reps, staying consistent even when you don't see results yet. Faith is discipline mixed with patience. Faith is showing up in the dark with the same energy you would show in the light. Most people quit in the dark. They think the silence means failure. They think rejection means they aren't good enough. But winners? Winners interpret the dark differently. They see it as a season of preparation, a test of endurance, a filter that removes the weak. They don't just survive the dark, they are shaped by it. Faith in the dark also requires one more thing: vision. You have to see beyond what your eyes can see. If you only live by what you see, you will quit too soon. But if you live by what you believe, you will keep moving, even when nothing around you gives you a reason to. So when you find yourself in the dark, don't panic. Don't give up. Remember, this is where winners are made. The world may not see you yet, but that doesn't mean you aren't growing. Stay patient. Stay disciplined. Keep your faith alive, because when the light finally comes, and it will, you'll step out of the dark stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. The dark doesn't destroy winners. It creates them. Sacrifice. It's the word nobody wants to hear, yet it's the foundation of every victory. You can dream big. You can talk about success. You can imagine the life you want. But without sacrifice, those dreams remain fantasies. The truth is simple. Nothing great is built without giving something up. Winners know this. That's why they are willing to pay the price that most people refuse to. Every champion, every leader, every history maker reached their peak because they sacrificed something along the way. It might have been comfort, time, sleep, money, or even relationships. They understood one thing. Success has a cost, and if you're not willing to pay it, you don't deserve it. Think about it. While others sleep, winners are awake, working. While others party, winners are grinding. While others chase short-term pleasures, winners stay locked in on long-term goals. Sacrifice is not easy, but it's necessary. Because the truth is, you can't have it all. If you choose comfort, you sacrifice growth. If you choose excuses, you sacrifice progress. If you choose distractions, you sacrifice your future. The question is not whether you will sacrifice. The question is, what will you sacrifice for what? Winners sacrifice comfort for discipline. They sacrifice weekends for consistency. They sacrifice approval for authenticity. They sacrifice temporary pleasures for permanent fulfillment. And every time they let go of something small, they gain something bigger. But here's the hardest part. Sacrifice feels invisible. When you're grinding in silence, when you're giving up things that everyone else enjoys, it feels like nobody sees it. You wonder, is this worth it? Will all this pain and sacrifice ever pay off? And that's exactly why most people quit. They can't handle the gap between sacrifice and reward. But winners? Winners trust the process. They understand that seeds take time to grow, and sacrifice is the water that nourishes them. Sacrifice also tests how serious you are. Everyone says they want success, but few are willing to pay for it. Everyone wants the reward, but few want the responsibility. Everyone wants the spotlight, but few are willing to sweat in the shadows. That's what makes winners rare. They don't just want it, they prove it through what they're willing to give up. Let's be real. Sacrifice hurts. It means missing out. It means saying no to comfort, no to laziness, no to things that feel good in the moment. It means pushing through exhaustion, ignoring criticism, and being misunderstood. But here's the secret. That very pain is shaping you into someone who can handle the success you're chasing. Without sacrifice, even if you got what you wanted, you wouldn't be ready for it. Sacrifice doesn't just get you the reward, it prepares you to keep it. Look at athletes, they sacrifice years of their lives, strict diets, brutal training, and countless hours of repetition. Look at entrepreneurs. They sacrifice stability, comfort, and even relationships to build something greater than themselves. Look at artists. They sacrifice sleep, time, and security to pour their soul into their craft. Sacrifice is always the price tag of greatness. And here's the thing. Sacrifice is not forever. It's temporary. The nights you give up, the comfort you let go of, the pleasures you delay, all of it adds up to a future where you no longer have to compromise. Winners understand this. They say, I'll sacrifice now so I can shine later. I'll give up today's comfort for tomorrow's freedom. So ask yourself, what are you willing to give up? Because the truth is, if you aren't willing to sacrifice, you aren't willing to win. Winners don't just dream, they trade. They trade comfort for growth, laziness for discipline, excuses for results. Sacrifice is the silent proof that you want it badly enough. And when the world finally sees you succeed, they won't understand the price you paid. But you will. You'll know every missed party, every sleepless night, every tough choice was worth it. Because in the end, winners are not remembered for what they kept. They're remembered for what they gave up to become unstoppable. There comes a moment in every fighter's journey where the darkness finally breaks. The years of sacrifice, the lonely nights, the doubts, the rejections, all of it begins to make sense. This is the moment of emerging into the light. It's not just about achieving success. It's about becoming someone new, someone stronger, someone unshakable. When winners emerge into the light, the world sees the glory, but they don't see the grind. They see the success, but they don't see the scars. They see the applause, but they don't hear the silence that once surrounded you. Emerging into the light is proof that the nights of struggle were not wasted. They were preparation. They were transformation. Here's the truth. Success doesn't change you, it reveals you. The person you became in the shadows, the resilience you built in silence, the discipline you forged when no one was watching. That's what shines in the light. The spotlight doesn't make you a winner. It only exposes the winner you already became in the dark. And this is why most people never experience it. Because they give up in the darkness. They quit before the light. They surrender before the breakthrough. Winners, on the other hand, endure. They keep going when nothing makes sense. They keep grinding when nobody believes. They trust the process, knowing that if they can survive the night, the sunrise will belong to them. Emerging into the light also means proving everyone wrong, not with words, but with results. Every doubter, every critic, every hater who said you couldn't make it, who laughed at your dreams, they'll be forced to face the truth. But here's the powerful part. By the time you emerge into the light, you won't even need their validation anymore. You'll realize that the only opinion that mattered was your own. The light is not just about external success. It's about internal freedom. It's waking up every day knowing you didn't quit. It's walking with pride because you survived storms that would have destroyed others. It's the quiet confidence of knowing you can handle anything life throws at you because you already walked through the fire and didn't burn. But don't get it twisted. The light doesn't mean the struggle is over. Life will still test you. Challenges will still come. But once you've been through the darkness, you're no longer afraid. You've proven to yourself that you can survive the worst. And that's why the light feels different. It's not just victory, it's liberation. Think about every champion you admire. They all have a dark night story. A time when they almost quit. A moment when nobody believed in them. But they pushed, they fought, they endured. And when the light finally came, they didn't just win trophies or fame, they became living proof that perseverance pays off. Emerging into the light is also about responsibility. Once you've made it, once you're standing in the glow of success, you carry the weight of your journey. Others will look at you as proof that it's possible. Your story becomes fuel for someone else's fight. That's the beauty of the light. It doesn't just shine on you, it shines through you, inspiring others to rise. And let's be honest, the light feels different because of the darkness that came before it. If success came easy, it wouldn't mean anything. If victory required no struggle, it wouldn't taste sweet. The reason winners cherish the light is because they know what it cost them. Every tear, every sleepless night, every sacrifice makes the glow brighter. So when you finally emerge into the light, don't just celebrate, own it. Stand tall. You earned it. You endured the shadows, you paid the price, and you came out stronger. The world might see you as lucky, but you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck, it was relentless persistence. Emerging into the light is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where you no longer chase respect, you command it. A chapter where you no longer prove doubters wrong, you inspire believers. A chapter where you don't just